NFL division winner predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason McIntyre filling in for Colin. Colin on his summer vacation. Everyone's taking vacation except me. It's unbelievable. All right. So when it comes to picking division winners, it's amazing how easy it is. And I know it sounds crazy, right? Like it sounds nuts. The best way to do it, don't get cute, okay? Everyone gets cute every year, right? They'll take, oh, this is the year the Chargers are going to win the West. Okay, this is what you do. Just take the best quarterback. Take the best quarterback in the division, and you'll usually be pretty good. And you may, I mean, of course, there's always going to be upsets, and some divisions have multiple good quarterbacks, but if you take who you think is the best quarterback in that division, usually you're okay. Let's do an example. Let's just look at last year, okay? Real quick. Gun to your head, just boom. Going into last year, okay? Not the teams this year. Think about last year. Let's just go through the divisions and pick the best quarterback. Be quick. Don't just think. Don't think, do, okay? Don't think, just do. AFC West, Patrick Mahomes. AFC North, Lamar Jackson. AFC West, or AFC South, CJ Stroud. AFC East, Josh Allen, okay? Any arguments there? Maybe Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson's coming off an MVP last year. You know, it is what it is. NFC North, I think pretty comfortably Jared Goff. NFC East, Jalen Hurts. NFC South, got to say Baker. NFC West, Matthew Stafford. Okay, so that's just the best quarterbacks, again, going into last year. So let's see how we would have done. You would have gone 8-0. You would have had Matt Stafford wins the division. You would have had Baker Mayfield wins the division. You would have had Jared Goff wins the division. You would have had Jalen Hurts wins the division. You would have had Patrick Mahomes wins the division. You would have had CJ Stroud wins the division, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Now, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes there's, wrinkles that happen that you can't foresee, like Jane Daniels almost, when Philly was 14-3, but Jane Daniels was somebody who all of a sudden he is maybe the best quarterback in the division that you wouldn't have seen coming, but that's a good general way to do it. Is just find the best quarterback, because over an entire season, they're going to put you in the best chances to win the most amount of games, and there's no reason. It's kind of like March Madness, where it's like everyone thinks you pick underdogs. Really, you just pick the best teams. Really, it's usually the best teams who make it to the end of March Madness. It's never these like Cinderella underdogs like people always think it is. Now, a caveat is that usually there is a worst to first situation in the division. Usually a team will finish fourth in the division, and then the following year they will win the division. And a lot of the times that happens because of schedules. The last place team in the division gets an easier schedule. Sometimes there's injuries. For example, like if the 49ers won the division this year, no one would be surprised, right? Because they had injuries the previous season. So sometimes you got to try and find a worst to first to see if you can get them involved. But that's something to think about. So let's go ahead and get into Jason's predicciones.
Division winners in the NFL. A lot of sameness from last year. Let's get started with the AFC East. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
it's going to be the Bills and Josh Allen. They are an overwhelming favorite, understandably. They're my pick to win the Super Bowl. Short of Josh Allen not playing, the Bills are winning this division. I don't care how good the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, I've given out so some bets I like to get after that is Bills to be the 1 seed, Bills to have the most regular season wins, and then Bills to win the AFC. If you're interested in that, or I don't like making Super Bowl bets because it's so hard to get out of it, but it's easy to get out of a win the AFC bet. So any of those I think are pretty solid with the Bills.
Miami ain't going to be great. My Jets, not there yet. The Bills will win the AFC East. That is an absolute lock. They are the biggest favorite to win their division at minus 280. Next up, AFC North. I thought about the Bengals. Obviously.
Yeah, I think the Bengals, I love Joe Burrow like a brother, but I still think they're a ways away. I think as long as this Trey Hendrickson thing's playing out, I think the Shamar Stewart distraction, I think the defense is still incredibly questionable. I understand Joe Burrow's the man, but Joe Burrow has been the man, and he's been 9-8 back-to-back years. So
cannot do Steelers here or Browns. So you got to go Ravens. They are heavily favored to win the AFC North, minus 150. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has a very good group of receivers. His tight end is back. Derrick Henry's back. I like what the defense did. And you got to give a shout out to Marlon Humphrey, who was amazing on the show last week. What a great guest he was.
I think you can get cute with some exactas in the AFC North. I think you go Baltimore 1, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati 3, Cleveland 4 might be decent. But you can play around with some exactas there.
So you got to go Ravens in the AFC North. I will accept Bengals, but their defense is still in shambles. AFC South, here's where I'm going a little bit of a surprise.
Now, this is where I think he's going to get cute. And I don't hate it if he goes Colts. Because I'm high on Daniel Jones this year if he's the starter. I think the Colts and Daniel Jones could be something. If you think that's the case, you might be able to find better money on like Daniel Jones comeback player of the year or Shane Steichen coach of the year or something like that. Like you might be able to get cute in those ways instead of just outright having them to win the division. But he might go Jacksonville. Who knows?
I don't believe as much in the Texans. I'm not ready to go Colts because of the Anthony Richardson situation. So I'm going Jacksonville Jags.
Okay, so this is the classic Trevor Lawrence fallacy here where everyone expects Trevor Lawrence to be good. Every year he's not good. Everyone expects the Jaguars to be good. Every year they're not good.
Going from 4-13 to winning the division. Shout out to Trevor.
What you would do here, y'all are going to know, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know what I'm going to say. Take Liam Cohen to win Coach of the Year.
Travis Hunter joining forces with their wide receiver they had last year who was awesome. Their quarterback who's very good.
Does anybody think Jason McIntyre might have forgot Brian Thomas's name right there? Their wide receiver last year who was very good. I don't get this. I honestly don't. I can promise y'all I do somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 videos a day for the last like 2.5 years straight. I can't remember a time where I'm like, man, I don't remember that team's number 1 wide receiver. Hey, what's the starting running back of Atlanta's name again? Like, what's his name again? I just don't. It just blows my mind. How do you get into this segment and you're blanking on the best receiver on Jacksonville? We're not talking about their 3rd receiver. The guy.
If the defense can take a step up and the new coach can really get his act together in Jacksonville, they've had some coaching issues over the years. I like the Jags, guys, and Liam Cohen to win the division.
Yeah, he just looked down at his notes. Hey, who's the head coach of this team?
A bit of a surprise. They're plus 260 to win the division.
Yeah, right. So they're 260 to win the division. You can get Cohen way higher than that to win Coach of the Year. There's so many different, and we know that Coach of the Year, on average, the last 10 years, they're plus like 5.5-ish wins. So if Jacksonville won 4 games last year, if Cohen wins the division with 10 wins, that's well over. That's 6 wins. Quick maths. So that would put him in that world. We know that all 10 of the last 10 Coach of the Years have made the playoffs. If he wins the division, that'll put him in that world. He's a first-year coach. So Liam Cohen win Coach of the Year if you think Jacksonville's going to win the division.
And finally, AFC West. Chiefs fans, go ahead and fire your mud at me online. I'm used to it. I'm going with the Chargers. Going with Jim.
Yeah, the fallacy again. The fallacy. Now, here's a problem with this. This happens every year. Here's a problem with this. How many games would the Chargers have to win the division? Like, just in your head. Like, what do you think would be the comfortable number? What's the comfortable number if I told you the Chargers win the division? 12.5? They have to win 13 games. They have to win 14 games. Because the Chiefs aren't going to, they're not going to lose 6 games. The Chiefs aren't going to go 11-6. They're not going to go 10-7. Right? So that's the issue with that, is that you're doubling down on the Chargers to be good, which is fine. But you're saying, well, they can't just be good. They have to be a 13-win, 14-win team to get there. So if they win 13 or 14 games, they're probably the 1 seed in the AFC. They're probably the best team in the AFC if they win that division. So instead of taking them to win the division, take the Chargers to be the 1 seed, to have the most wins, to win the AFC. That's how you find better value in those kind of wagers where you're asking so much of them already. You might as well go all the way with it. All right? Like if you think they're going to win 14 games and win the division and be better than the Chiefs, why settle for whatever, plus 240 or plus 250? Why not just go all the way and get some big numbers out there?
Harbaugh to deliver in year 2. Obviously, Herbert has better weapons. Hopefully, Najee Harris's superficial eye injury suffered on July 4th. Hopefully, he's okay. I think the offense is much better. Defense is going to be great. It's a tough division, but I'm going with Chargers in the AFC West. All right, NFC East. I toyed with the idea of Washington and Jaden Daniels. I'm not quite there. Obviously, Giants stink. Cowboys are not going to be above 500. So I will go with the Philadelphia Eagles to repeat as the division winner.
See, this is where I would go with Washington because I think now Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in that division. And you know that Philadelphia just lost Kellen Moore. So you're thinking, well, maybe they take a step. Okay, maybe they start slow, whatever. So I would take Washington. I guess I should have done my predictions as well, but I mean I kind of am, I guess. But I would go Washington in this one.
They are minus 130 to win the division, which is not bad for a defending Super Bowl champ. The defense is still going to be exceptional. The offense, another offensive coordinator, somebody named Kevin Patullo. They added a good linebacker in Campbell out of Alabama. I think this is going to be a very good team. I don't think they're quite due to the schedule.
I think this will be a very good team. Damn, Jason. Get out from that limb you just went on, brother. They're the Super Bowl champions.
Super Bowl contenders, but they're right there in the mix should something happen to one of the better teams.
What did you just say?
Backer and Campbell out of Alabama. I think this is going to be a very good team. I don't think they're quite, due to the schedule, Super Bowl contenders, but they're right there in the mix should something happen to one of the better teams.
Am I in some kind of a damn alternate reality? Jason McIntyre about the 14-win Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles just said they're not right. They're not there with the Super Bowl contenders, but they might be there if one of the good teams, something happens to one of the good teams. Hey, brother, newsflash. They are the good team. They won the Super Bowl. Let's hear it again. That was absolutely flabbergasting. I got to hear it again. This is where, if you're Jason right here, you say, you know what? Timeout. I got to go to the back. I got to get a La Croix. I got to drink a La Croix and reset.
They added a good linebacker in Campbell out of Alabama. I think this is going to be a very good team. I don't think they're quite, due to the schedule, Super Bowl contenders, but they're right there in the mix should something happen to one of the better teams.
Wow.
NFC North, here's my major curveball.
All right, NFC North, you got a lot of question marks across the board. Lions, you lose Ben Johnson, you lose Aaron Glenn. Offensive line got way worse with Ragnow retiring, Big Frank. Minnesota got a 14-win team who is now turning to a quarterback who hasn't thrown a pass in the NFL. Chicago is going to be the big narrative team, but we got a lot of question marks about Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson's a first-year head coach. What are we going to get out of him? I think this is the division you have to take Green Bay. You have to take Matt LaFleur. Green Bay, for the first time in forever, said, hey, let's draft some wide receivers. So I would go Green Bay here. That's one of my favorite division bets is Green Bay.
Going with the Minnesota Vikings. I know, Jay, they won 14 games. That's not a curveball. Well, when you look at the odds, they are third best. Third. After the Lions and Packers, they are plus 350 to win the division. I have planted my flag in the J.J. McCarthy camp. I know some people do not like that, and yes, I'll hear from you about it. Hopefully, he cleans up his off-field stuff, and I think the confidence will be there. I like Kevin O'Connell, J.J. McCarthy to win the NFC North. NFC South,
God, this is a nightmare. NFC South, yeah, I mean, you got to go with the Buccaneers here. Similar to the North, where Carolina, Atlanta, and the New Orleans have question marks all over the place. We don't know nothing about Tyler Shucker, Spencer Rattler, Kellen Moore, first-year head coach. Michael Penix, we know nothing about. He played 3 games against the 3 worst pass defenses in the NFL. He went 1-2 with 250 yards per game, a touchdown and an interception per game. Bryce Young is Bryce Young. You got to go with the known quantity here, which is Baker Mayfield, which is the Buccaneers. Got to go Bucs.
Light wrinkle, though not a huge one. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons and Michael Penix to dethrone Tampa in the division. I really like the offense. I think the defense had a good draft with the edge rushers. I don't love some of the front office stuff, but I'm going to overlook it because I think Penix has a good enough year. And even if Penix flops, Kirk Cousins is still the best backup in the league. So give me the Falcons to win the NFC North, NFC South, sorry. And finally, NFC West. Oh, yeah.
Y'all know I'm very high on the Rams. Very high on the Rams. So I would go Rams here, but I'll tell you this. I don't hate the idea of the 49ers. But again, I think if you take the 49ers here, you go all in, and your whole handicap is that they're fully back, fully healthy, whatever. And this is where you take, Niners to win the NFC, Christian McCaffrey MVP, Brock Purdy MVP. You start sprinkling those kind of tickets on there. But I do like the Rams this year a lot.
Brock Purdy and the Niners. They will win the division. They are plus 150 behind the Rams. Folks, this is schedule oriented.
What I don't understand is tying up your money for a plus 150 bet like this when you can get after it in so many different ways. I mean, unless you have to have a serious bankroll for this to be worth your time. And don't forget, guys, alternate win totals is a good way to do this. So, taking the Niners plus 2 wins on their win total and an alternate win total instead of taking the division might be a better way to go about this. I don't hate the 49ers I just hate the idea of tying up your money for a plus 150 division bet.
Go look at the schedule. Easiest in the league by a mile. Robert Saleh returns on defense. They'll need him because they're down 4 starters from last year. A lot of change. We'll get to the Jawan Jennings stuff that popped this morning. Not great. Obviously, they'll need Brandon Ayuk badly. I think the $53 million man Brock Purdy delivers. Niners win the division. So there are my division winners. Bills and Ravens, no surprise. Jags are a surprise. Chargers an upset. Eagles, nobody would be surprised by. And then Vikings, Falcons, Niners. So I've got Niners missed the playoffs. Falcons missed the playoffs. Jags missed the playoffs. 3 new teams just at the division winner.
Nightmare from McIntyre here. Good Lord have mercy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your predictions. Get on down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. That rhymed.